Nobody expected this in court. Not a single one was. The audience leaned forward waiting for something measured and quiet as Keanu Reeves stepped up to the podium. What they received instead was a testimony that was among the most disturbing parts of the whole trial. Keanu refrained from becoming angry, sobbing, or accusatory. What Diddy Combs had offered him at a private dinner in 2014 was only conveyed by him in a calm and unsettling manner. An unscripted part among the strange ritualistic terms of the contract was the need that he take a bath in Diddy's old bathwater before he could be accepted. It sounded like a sick joke at first, but what transpired thereafter proved it wasn't. The extent to which Diddy had manipulated the proceedings became immediately apparent to the courtroom. At first, it seemed like any other dinner in Hollywood, or so Keanu Reeves believed. While filming in Los Angeles at the end of 2014, he got an invitation via a secret route. Diddy Combs, rather than a talent agency or record company executive, was the source. Private dinner, that was the enigmatic and circumstantial message. Just creatives, no agents. Show up by yourself, set in the Malibu Hills. This guarded estate is less famous as a hangout for A-listers, and more for its relative isolation. Always inquisitive but wary, Reeves consented. Everything seemed wrong when he got there. Not a single photographer or valet was there. Instead, a lone security guard examined his identification and confiscated his phone. "No devices allowed," the man firmly stated. On the inside, it was more of a stage than a home. There were dozens of candles scattered over the floor, and discreet speakers were playing gentle background music. Smiling, Diddy stood at the head of a lengthy dinner table calling out to Keanu. He greeted him with, "Delighted you succeeded." In the stillness and darkness, there were only Diddy and Keanu at the table, with no one else there, and no one offering any kind of aid. As Keanu would later recount, the night began to feel like a slow, surreal descent, less of a dinner and more of a recruitment ritual. Before Diddy handed them each a glass of wine, he said, "Let's talk legacy." The two didn't discuss any particular film power, secrecy, and the need to earn one's way into the upper chambers were themes that Diddy often addressed in his fables. Neither a studio nor a script were ever supplied by him. He instead implied that this project, whatever it was, didn't adhere to the typical Hollywood norms and spoke about a part that only a select few could play. As he put it, "It's an immersive experience that changes you forever." During his court evidence, Keanu expressed his growing discomfort by saying it was one of the most strange talks he had ever had. "This isn't about acting," he would say over and over again. "It's all about changing. The key is to shine while no one is looking." Keanu initially wondered if it was a new age cinematic approach that masked the difference between fact and fiction, or a psychological acting style. "To begin, you'll have to show loyalty," Diddy added, leaning forward, and Keanu froze. "No middlemen, no publicity, just surrender. It's the sole method this can be made to operate." What came next, according to Keanu, was more akin to brainwashing than a pitch. Upon the candle-lit table, Diddy slipped a black folder. Nevertheless, upon Keanu's opening, he discovered that it lacked storyboards, scripts, and cast lists. Rather, the Loyalty Framework Agreement was a singular printed document consisting of 7 bullet points. Rather than studio logos, WGA registration numbers, or legal disclaimers, there were ominous ceremonial-sounding orders. One thing, even when you can't see, you have to trust the process. Second item, you will not tell anyone about this project. Third point, just like everyone else, you will be reborn as you dip your toes into the sea. Point 4, you are not going to inquire. Fifth item, your prize will be a lasting legacy. If money is what you're after, go now. The sixth item is that you must cleanse. Point 7, loyalty endures forever. In his testimony, Keanu sought clarification by asking, "Is this a pitch for a movie or something else?" "You inquire too much, Keanu," Diddy said with a simple smile. "I invited you for that very reason, because you harbor any remaining doubts." Keanu stated that his gut was telling him something wasn't right, and that this was the last test of his allegiance. After decades of experience, he had witnessed strange pitches, method directors, and hard rehearsals, but this was completely new to him. Diddy informed him that the project lacked a title because it was unnecessary. "The people who complete it, they don't care about credits," he said. "It's like being off the grid with a reawakening and a sacrificial test coming before the payoff." After Keanu resisted and demanded clarification, Diddy's vocal pitch dropped. "Your thoughts are too modest. You want a script? I present you with a chance for advancement." In his account of the most unsettling incident so far, Keanu brought the court to a near standstill. "Diddy put this little black stone on the table," he said, "and bring it with you when you enter the baths. You will change irrevocably the moment you step out." When Keanu inquired about the meaning of the bathhouse, Diddy explained with a bigger smile that it was the second half of the loyalty clause. "After that, you start to become wet," Keanu recalled with a different look. Diddy leaned in, speaking softly. "We're all connected through water," he allegedly stated. "Water holds memory. That's why it matters who you bathe with." Diddy recounted a strange initiation ceremony that would show real allegiance, according to Keanu, who was clearly troubled by the recollection even after all this time had passed. It was particular and repulsive. It was neither symbolic nor spiritual. "If you're serious," Diddy reportedly assured him, "you'll be there at the next gathering. By bringing this pebble, you will enter the same puddle from which I have escaped. I'll know you're prepared when it happens." Diddy said, "It's not a joke." As Keanu blinked in confusion, believing that Diddy was creating a twisted metaphor, "The bath will be prepared by my assistants. After I go, you'll go ahead and enter it. My residue will cleanse you." A subtle gasp resounded across the gallery as the courtroom was taken aback by his promise of a fresh start. Attempting to make sense of it, Keanu gazed at Diddy for what seemed like an eternity. According to him, "I assumed he was putting me through some sort of test or was attempting to embarrass me, but he was dead serious." He maintained his serious demeanor throughout. After refilling Keanu's drink, he casually said, "Are you in?" He remained silent when Keanu claimed to have stood up after silently thanking Diddy for supper. He left. Diddy yelled out to him, saying, "You'll come back. They always come back." As he said, he was still trying to figure out if it was a public relations stunt or not. Keanu returned to his car to find his phone contained in a sealed black packet. All it takes is time for them to grasp the true cost of legacy. It included a card that read, "Loyalty is tested in water." He didn't reply and never returned. The sentence was inscribed in gold letters, but after that night, Keanu's career underwent a gradual change. He stopped getting parts. His partnerships ended, and he claims that a number of producers he had worked with started to distance themselves. "I was unsure of any connection," Keanu stated to the court, "but it all started after the bath." For weeks after that unsettling meal with Diddy, Keanu Reeves tried to brush it off as an isolated incident, a bizarre meeting in Hollywood that would eventually pass. According to his testimony, it was unsuccessful, though. As an alternative, he felt a subtle, almost imperceptible change in his immediate surroundings, as if a shadow were shifting just out of sight. His home phone started ringing at 3:17 a.m. 3 days later, which was the first indicator. A faceless static. At first, there was complete quiet when he responded. Then, after a long breath, one deep, deliberate inhale seemed to follow. Silence again. Later on, the cue abruptly cut out. He thought it was just a typo or a joke at first, but then it kept happening. The following 2 weeks, Keanu had 5 more calls, all from blocked numbers, all at strange hours that were identical breathing, followed by quiet. Strange automobiles would frequently park for extended periods of time near his house, which he started to notice. On one occasion, he discovered a mysterious black packet concealed behind his windscreen wiper as he entered his garage. The contents included a single piece of parchment-like paper bearing the following message: "Unfinished rituals have consequences." The document was signed with a single letter S. Nobody could track it because there was no return address or watermark. Keanu acknowledged his emotional state in court, but maintained his reluctance to draw any hasty judgments.